Hi, I'm Courtney. Welcome to another bar class at home here on Everyday Moves on Demand. If you have a set of light weights, so anywhere from half a kilo to 1.5 kilos, and you would like to use them today, keep them handy. And then of course, with all of our at-home bar classes, if you obviously don't have a bar at home, not many of us do, a bar stool with a back or a high-backed chair, even your kitchen bench, or if you have a banister or a railing, something like that you can use, then yes, move to that position in your house. Otherwise, obviously a chair is a little more mobile. That's just there to help as a little support for us today. So we're going to be working on a little bit of hip opening, coming into what we're going to try, the splits. I do not go into the splits very easily, but it feels really good to open up through the inner hips and the thighs with our working up to splits. So don't be scared, it's nothing too crazy. So let's get started laying down on our backs. So once you have made yourself comfy, maybe start with the feet together and the knees out wide, Supta Baddha Konasana. And just allowing the legs to be quite heavy here. If you have really tight hips and this position doesn't feel good for you, but you'd still like to help open through your hips, you can pop blocks or cushions, anything, rolled up towels underneath your thighs or your knees to support the legs here. So once you have made yourself relatively comfortable, we'll just take a few moments here just to arrive on your mat in the space where you are. Closing down the eyes is of course very welcome. And just start to bring your awareness to your breath, noticing how your body is feeling. And just noticing where your energy is at today. It might be first thing in the morning where you are, maybe doing this in the middle of the day or perhaps after work. Just see if you can observe your energy levels, observe your breath without trying to make any judgments, not trying to change anything. Simply observing and being here now. Noticing the slow, steady inhale and smooth exhale. Kind of feeling this sense of spaciousness with every inhale. And a sense of groundedness and perhaps stillness with your exhale. Seeing if you can really invite that space into the body as you breathe in. And then allowing yourself to melt into that space as you breathe out. Take one more breath in. And another breath out. And gently, perhaps clasping the hands on the outsides of the legs or the knees to close the knees back together. And then gently just bring the knees into the chest to give yourself a little hug. And then what might feel really nice is to circle the knees around. So holding the knees, one in each hand, and just separating the legs out wide and pulling them back together in front of the chest, taking them away from you, opening out wide, and hugging them back into the chest. So like you're stirring your thigh bones in your pelvis. Try to let your legs be quite loose and soft here, quite heavy. So it's your arms doing the work. If you were to let go, your legs would just kind of flop towards the ground. And then take your circles in the opposite direction. So hug them into the center, into your chest, and then take them wide. Circle them down, back to center and up to the chest. As we start to move the body a little more dynamically, we can start to sort of challenge ourselves to perhaps become a little bit more aware of how our breath is facilitating the movement of the body. Basically what that means is using your breath to help you through movements, especially challenging movements, but also remembering that the breath brings you back to the present moment. So often we can be trying or attempting or moving through a movement, you know, we are doing it, whether we're attempting it or not, we are doing it. But perhaps we get caught up in the challenge or the discomfort or just a bit of talking to ourselves, perhaps not very nicely. And so coming back to the breath brings us back into the present moment. Just a little tidbit to think about as we move throughout the class today. Go for one more nice big circle of the legs. Our hips should be feeling quite open now as I've been chatting. And then hug your knees into your chest. Go for a little rock from side to side. Beautiful. Let's keep the knees hugging into the chest, but take your arms out wide and very gently just let your knees fall to one side, just finding a little twist. Take a nice deep breath in, big breath out, and then slowly coming back to center. Let the knees fall the other way. Nice deep breath in, find that space within the body. Breath out, letting it go. And then slowly come back to center, pulling the belly in towards the spine. Beautiful. Drop your left foot to the floor and take your right leg to the ceiling. And just flex and point the toes, just helping to open the back of your right leg. So we already start to warm ourselves up to come into our splits later on. Maybe circling the ankle. Beautiful. Extend your left leg out and float it off the floor, barely pulling in. And then inhale as you switch the legs. So right leg down and left leg up. Floating that right leg just for a moment. And then bend the right knee, foot to the floor. And let's stretch out that left leg. So again, flexing and pointing the toes, being quite gentle here. So if like me today, I haven't done any movement myself, this is my first thing I'm doing for the day. So if it's the first bit of movement you've done, it might be early in the morning or maybe you've been sitting at work all day, just be really gentle here, warming up the body. And circling the ankle around a couple of times. Beautiful, and then float your right leg. Here we come into the little bit of scissors. If you would like to, scoop the belly, exhale to tuck the chin and lift your head and chest. And then we're just going to switch the legs. Just watching that your bar, whatever you're using, isn't too close. So you're not going to kick it with your feet. So you're inhaling to switch the legs, exhaling to pull the leg in. Inhale, switch. Exhale to pull. Remember, you can keep the head and shoulders down. Let's go for 3. For 2. Last one each side. Now let's hug the knees in. And just go for a little rock and roll a couple of times along the spine until you come up to a comfortable seated position. Take your legs out wide, nice and long. Hands come in front of the body and then just walk the hands forward as you fold at your hips, trying to keep the chest lifted. Flex the toes back. So again, opening through the inner thighs and the backs of the legs. Let's take 2 nice deep breaths here. Last one. Beautiful. Walk the hands back up to through center. I'm just going to turn to face you for this next little bit. So sitting up nice and tall, you can stay where you are. Let's bring the left foot inside the right thigh. Turn your chest towards your bent left knee. Right hand comes on the inside of the right leg if that's comfortable. And then left arm up and over to find a nice big side bend. So we're opening through the left side of the body. Your right hand might like to come across to your left thigh or knee. So you're kind of anchoring yourself down and intensifying that side stretch. It might feel pretty intense. Take one more nice deep breath in, really try and open up this left side. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Then come on up. Bring your left hand behind you. Make sure your left knee is somewhere on the mat. So you can lift up into this little baby rock star, pressing the hips forward, squeezing your bum, opening the chest. And coming all the way down. We'll switch it over. So right foot inside left thigh. Turn towards your right knee. Left hand on the inside of the left leg. Right arm reaching up and over. Maybe left hand comes to right thigh, acting like a little anchor to help you find that side stretch a little more intensely. Try to wrap the armpit open. So you're trying to turn your chest slightly just to make sure you're in a side bend and not sort of like a forward fold. You want to keep the chest open. Take one more breath, big breath in. And a big breath out. And again, make sure your right knee is on the mat here as you land your right hand down. Left arm comes up as you lift the hips, squeezing the bum. And then slowly coming all the way down. Beautiful. I'm just going to turn back to face the front of my mat. Let's all bring the knees in towards the armpits, feet flat. Hands just behind you here. And just give the knees a little sway from side to side. So again, just encouraging a little bit more juice into the hips. You can tell there's going to be a theme, right? Beautiful. One more time each way. And then finding center. Cross your ankles. Come forward into 4-point kneeling just for a moment. Tuck the toes. Push the floor away, really try to separate the shoulder blades. Dig your fingertips into the floor. And then belly in as you send your bum back to your heels. Maybe lifting your knees, finding a little crouch. And then we lift the hips, extend the legs to find down dog. We'll roll through to a plank. Shoulders over wrists. Bend the knees maybe to the floor, maybe they hover. Then we all send the bum back to the heels. Lift your hips high, down dog. One more time. Ripple forward to plank. Scoot the belly, push the floor away. Bend the knees to hover or land. Bum towards the heels. Bum lifting high, down dog. We'll take the right leg to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee and open your hip. Try to keep your chest square to the floor and just wrap your thigh open. Keep the thigh open as you ripple forward. Lift your left heel off the mat. Come forward, bring your knee in towards your right elbow. Send it back into that bent leg, 3-legged dog. One more time. Knee to elbow, come forward over the wrists. Send it back. This time, stretch the right leg, square the hips back off, and then pull your knee in towards your nose, coming into a tiger curl, chest over wrists. Send your leg back, inhale. One more time. Knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Sweep it back. This time, knee comes in. See if you can hover here. Lift your back heel and hike your hips up. Pull the belly in. Really try to smell your knee. And then land your foot on the floor, somewhere between your hands. Drop the back knee down. Keep the toes tucked. And we'll come up, inhaling into a low lunge or Anjaneyasana. Inhale, squeeze your left butt cheek to drop a little deeper into your lunge. And then exhale, fold at the hips, straighten your front knee. Maybe the hands come to the mat here, lengthening through the spine to find a half split. Really flex the toes back, pull that right hip crease back. We'll do 2 more little flows like that. We'll inhale, come up, low lunge. Exhale, fold, half split. One more time. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll come up. Hands come to the floor. Keep those back toes tucked so you can lift your back knee. Beautiful. And hopefully you're close enough to your bar to come up. Hands to the bar. So we're at a nice long lunge here. Really ground down through your front foot. Slowly slide that back foot in. Bring the knee to the chest. And we'll come into pony swing. So you're just simply swinging that left leg in and back. Opening through that left hip. Just for 3. For 2. Last one. And we're going to turn to the left. Keep swinging your leg. I'll be turned away from you, obviously. But you're just swinging that left leg out to the side. Nice big swing. Making sure your right knee tracks over the right toes. Let's do 3. Last 2. Last one, we step out, holding here, wide second position. I'm going to turn to you just for the moment, just so you're not looking at my back the whole time. We'll just come down into a little wide second plie and then stretch it up. Bend down, big stretch. We'll just do 3. Last 2. Last one, we come low. Beautiful. Bend into your, doesn't matter which leg, you're going to bend. Come into like a high skandasana. So the opposite leg extends and the opposite toes lift. Come back through center, plie down. And then stretch the other leg, lift the toes. Making sure the bent knees tracking over your middle toes. So we come down, stretch, down, stretch. If you like, we come down, open arms, down, open arms. If the arms adds too much coordination, just keep the hands on your hips. Let's do 3. Last 2. Last one. Come to center, reach up. Turn the toes forward and just fold at the hips. Finding a nice wide-legged forward fold. Walk the hands back towards your right foot so you're facing the top of your mat. And then bend your back knee to lift the arms up to find a high lunge. Beautiful. Sweep the hands down. Sweep your right leg back. 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. And then land the foot down. Little pedal through the feet. And then we'll take the left foot to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee and open your hip. So chest square, left hip opening to the sky. Keep that knee open and bent. And we're going to roll forward into our little wide leg tiger curl, left knee, left elbow. Press back, lift the knee, try to squeeze your bum to open that hip and lift the thigh. One more time, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale up. Beautiful. Extend that leg. Turn the hips to square. Knee comes into chest as you come forward. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, stretch back. This time knee comes in. Try to really lift your back heel and hike up those hips. Try to smell your knee. And then step your foot down to the floor. Drop your knee, keep the toes tucked as we lift up into a low lunge. So squeezing your right butt cheek and then exhale, fold into your half split. If you want to try a little balance, maybe float the arms back, otherwise hands to floor. Lengthen through the spine. Try to plug your left hip crease back. Really flex the toes, stretching out the back of the leg. And then bend the knee, plant the foot down, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. One more time, we come up and hold. Beautiful, so toes are tucked, hands come down to the floor so we can just lift that back knee. If we had fixed bars, we'd grab the bar, but I don't trust myself not to pull my chair down. Beautiful, and then we come up, hands to the bar, ground down through your front foot, and then the right knee comes into chest, sweep it back, sweep it back. So really opening through the hip for 4, 3, 2. Keep swinging and turn to your right, keep swinging that leg. Opening through the hip, making sure that your left knee stays facing over the toes, a little soften in that standing leg. One more time. We step it out, holding here. We bend down, plie, big stretch, plie, and stretch. Just the 3. Last 2. Last one, we come down and hold. Beautiful, this time we're gonna stay in our plie and just pulse. Down and down, down and down. We've just got 4. The 3. Last 2. Last one, we're gonna turn back to the bar, chair, and then reach down, grab your weights. Slowly roll yourself up. We're gonna keep the right leg behind us here. So we're in a nice long lunge. Tilt the chest forward and think about trying to pull your belly away from your thigh. Elbows coming close to the waist. Extend your elbows, reach the arms back and bend. Reach and bend. Beautiful. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. Really think about the extension being the most kind of intense part of the movement. So it's almost like you're kind of flopping your elbows to bend them, but then you're really extending back, getting those triceps working a little harder. Let's do 3. For 2. Last one, we're going to reach the arms back and hold. Bring a bit more weight into your standing leg. Watch your knees and coming forward over your toes. You want to keep your knees somewhat over your ankle and then float the back leg away from the mat. And then just pulse those straight arms up and up, up and up. So you want to keep the weight back in your left heel. Your left butt cheeks should fire up pretty quickly. And then add a little pulse of your right leg. So you're squeezing your right butt cheek a little more. Keep lifting and lowering the arms just for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, beautiful, land the foot down. We turn back to the right. Beautiful, elbows into the waist. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Stretch knees and elbows. Bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. Just for 4. Hopefully your hips are feeling really open now, or a little more open than they were. We're going to stay low on 1, hold. Little pulses, just for 8. For 6. For 4, 3, 2, stay low. Bring the arms back out in front, first position. We're going to step this right foot back to a curtsy. Step out, open the arms. Curtsy back. Step out. Beautiful. Watch as you curtsy back that you're not taking your foot all the way across behind you. That'll do funky things to your knee. So as you step back, you're stepping just behind the front foot. Let's do 4, 3, whew, 2, hopefully getting nice and warm. Last one, step back, hold it. Beautiful, little pulses here. Just for 4, 3, coming into a little retire. So we're going to lift the arms up and bring that right foot to your left knee. And then send it back, curtsy. Lift up, curtsy down. Belly drawing in, so you're getting all your power from your center. Let's do 4, 3, last 2, and you guess it, we're going to hold it here in the balance. Beautiful. Maybe left hand, you can drop your weight, left hand to your chair. You're going to lift that left heel, lower it down. Lift it up, lower it down. If you like, as you lower the heel, lower the arm. Lift the arm and heel. Lower, lift. Just for 3. One more little addition. Last one. This time, as you lift your heel, open your arm, extend your right leg. Bring it back in, lower the heel. So it's lift and open, close and lower. Lift and open, close and lower. Just for 3, really give your right thigh a good squeeze. Last one, we're going to hold, little lift and lower of the right toes, just for 4, 3, 2, 1, step it out. Turn back to your chair. Grab your other weight. Step your feet together. Little pulses here. In a little chair pose. Bum sits back. Belly pulls in. Just for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We step the left foot back. Extend the arms. Beautiful. So then we come back into our tricep extension. Bend and extend the elbows. Making sure you can still see your whole right foot. Shouldn't be any foot disappearing behind your leg. Let's do 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold the arms back on 1. Bring your weight forward. Now watch as you bring your weight forward, your knee isn't pressing forward. So you're bringing just more weight into your thigh and your foot to float that left leg. Beautiful. Little lift of the arms, little lower. Lift, lower, and then add a squeeze of your left butt cheek to lift and lower that leg. Really small. Whew. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here on 1. Beautiful. We're going to step it out. I'm going to turn back to face you, but we're going to step it out. Beautiful. Plie down. Holding here. Little bend and stretch of the legs. Tiny, tiny. Let's go for a little port de bras. So we're going to lift the arms up to the ceiling. Open out to the side. Keep the elbows soft. Down in front of the hips. Back up to first. So we lift up to 3rd. Sorry, 5th. Out to 2nd. Down to 3rd. Up to 1st. One more time. Up, up, out, out. Down, down. We hold in first here. We step the left foot behind the right. Beautiful. And then open out to your 2nd position. Step behind and open. Little curtsy. Wide plie. Just for 5. For 4. Make sure you're doing the other side. I know I'm facing you the same way, but I've switched legs. So make sure you're stepping back the left leg this time. One more time, we step back and hold. Little pulses here for 4, 3, and then remember we come into our retire. So we lift up, curtsy down. Lift up, curtsy down. Beautiful. So hopefully you've still got your chair next to you. So it should be on your right side. So that you can use it as like a little balance. I've got a pole here I might use. All right, 2 more. Last one, we're going to hold at the top. Beautiful. You can pop your other weight down. I'm going to grab my pole. Woo. Maybe this one's better. Okay. So here, we lift that right heel up. Woo. Lower it down. Lift it up. Lower it down. Lift and lower. Or try to be a little bit more graceful than me without thumping the heel down to the floor. Beautiful. And you can lower the arm, lift the arm, lower and lift. We've just got 3, 2, and then we add on. We lift, extend the arm and leg, bring it in, lower down, open, close, lower. 2 more, lift, open, close, lower. Last time, we open and hold little lifts for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Take your other weight. We'll turn back to the top of our mat. You can move your chair back to the top of your mat if you moved it. Little pulses in your chair. Just for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one. Beautiful. Let's go for a nice big stretch up. Slow fold forward, just watching your chair. Pop your weights down. Beautiful. Let's stay here in this forward fold. Just heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Grab a little band in one knee than the other. You can turn the toes out if you like. Toes can also stay pointing forward. Beautiful. Nice. Step your feet back. Down facing dog. Go for a pedal of your feet. Really encourage your heel to push down towards the floor. Big stretch at the back of the leg. And then maybe a little sway of your hips. Beautiful. Take your right foot to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Really squeeze your bum to open your hip. And then bring your knee in towards your chest. Step your foot down and drop your back knee. Beautiful. You can untuck your toes at the back. Nice. Cool. So from here, you can also keep your toes tucked if that feels better. We're going to lift ourselves up into our low lunge. Inhale, squeeze your left butt cheek to open your left hip. Beautiful. And then as we did before, fold through the hips, front leg stretches. And then just gently start to slide your right foot forward. Now, if you do have yoga blocks, I might grab mine to show you. If you have blocks, you can use them here. So you can have them underneath your hands to sort of prop you up. So they can be any position. So it gives you a little bit more space to keep the chest high. If that's not an issue for you, but you want some support underneath the leg, you can pop your blocks, one or both, underneath your front thigh, maybe close to your bum, so that you've then got a little bit of support here, so that you're not straining to keep yourself in your split. So however you would like to adjust and support yourself, or even challenge yourself in your splits, please go ahead. Keep that front foot quite active, so flex the toes back. You're encouraging this openness through the front leg. Trying to keep the chest up, so again, maybe one block under the leg, the other block under the hands. If you don't need the blocks, you might just find yourself hanging out in your split however low you can go. Most important thing here is to try to relax the face and the shoulders. Probably the most important thing really is to remember to breathe. And remember that you're trying to create space with your breath and stillness whilst you find that space. Just take one more breath. Very gently remove your props. Slide that front foot back in So you can come back into your low lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor. We lift that back knee, float that back leg back. Should feel really nice to open the hip, bend your knee. And then release your foot to the floor. Maybe a little pedal of the feet, a little sway of your hips. And then take your left leg to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Squeeze your bum to open the front of your hip. And then knee comes back into the chest. Bring yourself into that nice strong tiger curl. And step your foot down, lower the back knee. We'll come up into our low lunge, so squeezing your right butt cheek to open that right hip. And then exhale, hands to the ground. Front leg extends, toes lift. Now remembering that maybe the half split we've been doing is enough for you. Totally fine. You are venturing into your front splits. Remembering that one side may not be as open as the other. That is absolutely fine. You keep flexing the front toes. Use your props if you need them. Remember that props aren't cheating. Props are there to assist us, challenge us, take us deeper into a position, ease us out of a position. Everyone uses props differently, and everyone should use props differently depending on their body and depending on the day, you know. So just taking a few breaths here in your split. I'm not really fussy about like this hip opening slightly. Having this hip closed will feel really uncomfortable for me. So just letting that left hip come forward slightly feels really good to open through my right side, which is quite tight. Just take a couple more breaths, finding that space and that stillness. And if you've got your props underneath you, removing them as required. Finding yourself back in your low lunge. We'll inhale up. Exhale, fold hands to the floor. Back toes are tucked so you can lift your knee. Sweep your left leg up. Maybe bend the knee and open the hip one more time. And then bringing both feet to the floor in your down dog. Go ahead and slowly bend the knees. Take them nice and wide. Bum to your heels. Child's pose. Feeling the texture of your mat beneath you. Allowing the back body to open. Each inhale expanding the rib cage. And each exhale softening the body. Take one more breath. And slowly roll yourself up and over onto your bottom. Taking your blocks with you if you like. As you roll onto your back, press the feet into the floor, squeeze your butt to lift your hips, and pop your block underneath your sacrum. Now if the side of your block makes it too high, just bring the block flat to the floor. If you have heaps of space in your back, you can turn it on its end. I mean, good on you if you can do that, great. But otherwise, that sort of mid position of the block is good. Well, it's good for me. You just find which position is good for you. And this should feel quite supportive, quite calming. Letting the hips be a little higher than the heart. A really gentle inversion. In our supported bridge. If you feel like you have the space, you can take your legs long. This can feel a little bit much on the lower back, so any discomfort or pinching, anything like that, just immediately bend the knees, feet flat to the floor. Otherwise, extra opening for the hips here. and for the front body by extending the legs. Just taking a couple of breaths here, just letting ourselves sink into the floor, into the block. If your legs are straight, just start to bend the knees, plant the feet. Give your bum a really purposeful squeeze here and push your feet down. So as you lift your hips off the block, you're really supported. And then you just allow yourself to melt all the way down onto the floor. It should feel a bit weird, like it feels like there's something under your bum, under your tailbone. So just go for a little sway of the knees from side to side. Beautiful. And then send the legs along. You're welcome to come back into Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees bent. Letting them go out to the sides of the room. And just flip your palms up. Close down your eyes. Just for a couple of moments, allowing yourself to become aware of your breath once again. Feeling that spaciousness in the body. And heaviness of the body on the floor. Take one more breath in. And allow that exhale to be released slowly. And invite some movement back into the fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can make your way up to a comfortable seat. Thank you for joining me for this kind of workshop-y bar class today. I hope you enjoyed it. It feels really nice to get those hips nice and open. You know, I always love some feedback, so feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. You can always send me an email via the website, or just say hi on Instagram if you like. Hopefully I will see you again in the next video, or at least you will see me, and I look forward to the next class.